Hello, everyone. My name is Kara Seffel, and I'm a nutrition intern with GBS Health and Wellness. Today, we'll learn how to feed a healthy family with a focus on finding food balance. So for today's agenda, we'll cover foods and nutrients of concern, reading of the food label, portion sizes, and resources. So today we'll dig into some specific foods and nutrients that can cause problems in the child's health, especially when we're talking about health over the long term into adulthood. On average, toddlers in the US have inadequate intake of multiple nutrients, but overall diet quality declines from toddlerhood all the way through adolescence. We know that as toddlers begin to attend school, that snack foods and other environmental factors may begin to influence dietary patterns, often in a negative way. And additionally, about 1 in 5 children in the US has obesity. An imbalance of certain food and nutrient groups can increase this risk for obesity, which increases the risk of chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes and heart disease. So in looking at some of this national survey data, children in the US are under consuming whole grains, but over consuming refined grains. So a whole grain provides fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals. Some examples include 100% whole grain bread, oats, quinoa, corn tortillas, brown and wild rice, as well as popcorn. Refined grains, on the other hand, have been stripped of most, if not all, of the fiber, are often high in added sugar and saturated fat. Some examples of refined grains include white flour, white bread, sweet treats, white flour tortillas, white rice, pasta, and refined cereals. So as well, both children and most adults in the US are not meeting the recommended amounts of fruits and vegetables, which are high in fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. They're also naturally low in calories or overall energy, salt, and saturated fat. So with fruits and vegetables, we often tell folks to eat the rainbow. And this is because the different colors of fruits and vegetables have different vitamins and minerals that are needed for optimal growth and development. We also suggest making half of the plate fruits and vegetables. So depending on the age and the calorie level needed for that child, children should aim for between 1 to 2 cups of fruit a day, 1.5 to 3 cups of vegetables a day, and 4 to 8 ounces of whole grains, with less than half being refined grains at the most. So added sugar, sodium, and saturated fat are 3 main nutrients that are overconsumed by children of all ages. Often these nutrients are found in refined grains and processed foods. These concerning nutrients are not found naturally in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. So you can see that children from age 2 all the way through age 18 are over-consuming added sugar, saturated fat, and sodium. And those are represented in the orange part of the circle, whereas those children in the age group within the recommended limit are in blue. So this is concerning because this overconsumption of these nutrients adds excess calories or energy to the diet, but it doesn't add these important nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and protein that are needed for optimal health and growth. So this leads to malnutrition in the form of overnutrition of excess calories, but undernutrition in specific nutrients like fiber, vitamins, and minerals. So excess sugar is concerning as it can cause overweight, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. Added sugars are often found in those sugar-sweetened beverages, desserts, sweet snacks, juice, and candy. So we want to aim for less than 10% of calories from added sugar. Saturated fat can cause overweight, obesity, and heart disease. And saturated fat is often found in sandwiches, burgers, tacos, desserts, sweet snacks, and mixed dishes. So again, we want to aim for less than 10% of total calories from the saturated fat. And lastly, excess sodium can lead to high blood pressure. Sodium is often found in deli meats, processed foods, bread, soups, and sandwiches. And we want to aim for these different levels depending on the age, which you can see here. So for teenagers and adults who don't have heart disease, that 2,300 milligram limit is 1 teaspoon to give you a good visual representation. So this is actually often overconsumed by at least 1,000 milligrams in most adults in the US. So this is something that over time can lead to that high blood pressure. So by buying processed foods, we can make eating quick and convenient, which is great when you're busy, right? So we're going to learn how to read the food label on a processed food item to make the best decision, the best healthy choice for yourself and your children. So sometimes eating in a hurry or on the go means you have to grab these packaged foods, but learning how to read this nutrition facts panel can give you the knowledge you need to make a healthy decision. So we'll start with the serving size, which is listed at the top. And the serving size is often not often the entire container, such as this example here, which is 2/3 of a cup, but there's 8 servings in the container. And a great example of this is chips. So how often have you mindlessly eaten an entire bag of chips, or your child? That happens pretty easily, right? Because they're full of saturated fat and salt, but not full of that fiber and protein to keep us full. But chips serving sizes are usually 15 to 20 chips. So all of this information we'll look at next is based off of that serving size. So that's good to keep in mind. Next, we're going to look at the percent daily value here, which you can see the numbers with the percentages. And the percent daily value is the percent of that nutrient based on a 2,000 calorie diet, which is average for most adults. Keep in mind that body size, activity level, and life stage will affect how much energy is needed. So this 2,000 calorie level may be way more than a younger kid needs, but it may be much less than a growing teen needs. But we're just going to learn how to use these daily value percentages to get a quick idea of whether there's a good amount of a nutrient or a bad amount. So a great example is the dietary fiber and added sugar. So for dietary fiber, we have it highlighted in green here, 14%. Fiber is something we want to increase in the diet. So 20% or more is considered a lot of a nutrient, and 5% or less is considered a low amount. So because fiber is something we want more of, then 14% is a pretty good amount. For the added sugars, 20% is really high because added sugars are something we know we need to reduce in the diet. So that's going to be a little bit higher than we want to see. A third example would be the sodium here at 7%. That's going to be not terrible, not too bad, not a bad amount of sodium. So with saturated fat, we've mentioned that saturated fat can be problematic because we want to balance the different fats in the diet. So we want to make sure that we're not getting too much of the saturated fat. For sodium, aka salt, we talked about that sodium is often overconsumed, and we talked about some of those salty foods in the diet really adding up between pizza and bread and sandwiches throughout the day. So that's something that you want to keep on the lower end of the percentage. And then next we'll talk about fiber. So dietary fiber, which is naturally a part of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, helps slow down our blood sugar response, keeps our bathroom trips regular, reduces blood cholesterol, and feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which helps support your immune system, which is especially important for growing kids. For added sugars, we again want to keep these to less than 10% of the total calories. And that's going to help us reduce excess calories, control blood sugar, and keep your heart health in check. And lastly, protein. Protein is great to have because it helps us stay full, gives us energy, slows our digestion, and helps our blood sugar response. So hopefully learning how to read this nutrition facts label can help you give you the tools you need to make a good decision for your family. Finally, we'll talk about portion sizes, which can alter how fullness is signaled in the body. Portion sizes are really important because they affect how much is eaten. Large portions can pressure and overwhelm, decreasing food acceptance among children, especially if they're a little bit picky. And portion size can lead to overweight or obesity. So we know that constantly providing more food than is necessary or needed can lead to eating more, ignoring those fullness signals and leading to overweight and obesity. And the benefits of healthy eating really do add up over time. So bite by bite, small changes really do matter. And I encourage you to visit myplate.gov and check out the age-specific recommendations. You can put in your child's age, gender, and physical activity level to see what they should be getting on their plate every single day. So this week's resources include our Finding Balance Portions and Lifestyle flyer and the Bento Box Lunch Challenge to help you be a little more creative in some of these balanced foods that you can provide in lunch. Thanks for watching.